20 knots, 30 knots, 40 knots, or 50 knots. You choose. That's the beauty of these V10 400s, and this is the new Iron 907 Coupe. I love this boat, and I think you will too. You may have already seen some of the smaller models on my channel, but this is now the flagship of the range. It will still fit in a container, and as you may notice, it's got the iron fender. I love this setup because you can do exactly what we've done today. You don't have to stuff around with deploying fenders yourself, so it behaves like a rib, but it's not a rib. So you get all this extra space. You can just come in, bump up to things, use it as a tender, use it as your primary boat. As you can see, we didn't even use our own lines. We've just used the dock lines here at this wonderful spot. We're in Sweden, by the way, just a little bit south of Gothenburg. I don't actually know the name of this town. I should know because I stayed here last night, but I've been doing a little bit too much traveling. So this is going to be the detailed tour. After this tour, if you like the look of this thing, we're going to go for a drive. We're going to be going really fast. It's the first sea trial on YouTube, and you're very welcome to join us. My name's Dan Jones. Welcome to Dan's Boat Life. And yeah, this should be a little bit of fun because who doesn't like these boats? First things first, you don't have to have them in black. I know a lot of you guys write to me from around the world. You can actually get this in white or a super cool gray, and the upholstery options are quite varied as well. So if this doesn't work in your tropical environment, that's okay. They originally designed this brand with Sweden, Norway, the Nordic countries in mind, but it's gone global. It's super popular. These things are becoming a bit of a cult boat in Australia. I know America is taking off and other countries as well. And I can understand because they're just super practical. Obviously this cabin design is what we're focused on, but it does come in a very, very good looking open style as well. So we'll just focus on the back of the boat. V10s are just a wonderful match for this particular hull. We can cruise very slowly and efficiently at 20 knots, super, super comfortably at 30 knots, and a fast cruise at 40 knots. No problems at all, because your top speed in the right conditions would be 50, and we did confirm that today. And I love this design. You'll see this in all the iron boats. Basically, it's a flip up step just forward of the swim platform, and it's perfect for chucking your lines in here. So you don't really need to disconnect your stern line. You can actually just pull it off, chuck it in there, and then the rest of the boat's lines will fit in there as well. And you have another one the same size on the other side of the boat. And then on the aft section, we've actually got water in and petrol in to the fuel tanks, and we've got a cold water swim shower, a pull-out shower just here. And then, yes, you could probably pull a skier off this, but it's also for mounting instrumentation should you wish. And then one of the things about the concept of these iron boats is they basically are utilizing the same hull design, and it gets longer. That's why they do fit in a container. It's easy to ship them, so you can get them all the way around the world. But as they get longer, the space and the facilities gets a little bit more comfortable. So they're really keen on the price because they can build them so cleverly. But the 907, being the biggest in the range, gives you some all-round boating options. So we can turn this into a sleeping cabin, and we do have a toilet inside. But I'm 5'7". Sitting here, I still have that much space above my head, so this might work at speed if you're trying to stay out of the wind or get a little bit of sun protection here. It's not bad. We do have some grab handles around. 2 people can be comfortable, and we've got a pull-out fridge below my feet right there, so that's all good. This table works. You can do drink holders in here. We've got the nice soft decking, so that's going to be good for grip. And I would say 3 people could be quite comfortable here. Shoes off, you could probably have your feet up, kick back and enjoy yourself, no problems. But underneath here, we've actually got access into engine hydraulics for the steering, 2 batteries on this boat. So we have a crank battery and we have a house battery. The house battery also supplies the bow thruster. You can get bow thrusters on all the iron models now. Not sure if you would need them on the smaller ones, but you could justify a bow thruster on this size boat. And we've got the water tank and a little bit more storage for some non-essential items, I would say would do just fine there. Speakers here and here drains for the cockpit, so it is self-draining. You could keep this boat on a mooring, and I'm actually going to take you up the port side so you get a feel for the cabin. This is not just a cold country style of cabin. Yes, it's perfect for Sweden, but I see this design working for many climates. Having the sliding doors and having the opening sunroof, you really do get a lot of ventilation in here, particularly at speed. So if you do want to design a boat where you can just knock out essentially rain, if you want to stay protected from the rain, or get a little bit more sun protection than you would on a fully open style, it might work for you in a hot country as well. Let's check out the bow and then we'll go inside the cabin. This is probably where you'll notice one of the major differences compared to the smaller models. We've got heaps of space here. This space will turn into a sun lounge. There's an infill supported piece that goes in here, and both of these seats are actually deep storage. So these are perfect locations for guests' bags, but it's not the only option. So if you're worried about electronics or items that you don't want to get wet, you may store them in there. And we've also got more options inside, but we'll just have a look under here so you can have a bit of a squeeze. So that's quite deep. That's going to be good for fenders and extra lines. So we've got the two other spots down the back of the boat, and I would say if you did want to take fenders, and you may see some scenarios where that's useful, but do remember these iron fender systems are actually made here in Sweden, and it's a custom design that they have put together themselves. It doesn't leave marks, so you could even berth this boat rafted up next to a white boat, and the black fender is not going to leave marks on the side. It's UV resistant, it's super hardy. It's basically the same technology that comes out of some of the commercial boats. So it's not super necessary. It may just be when you want to come up alongside a dock that is not the same height or size as the fender, when that may be useful. So that's cool, but I know a lot of you were asking about anchoring options on my previous videos when we were just manually anchoring. That has now been upgraded from Iron Direct. So they now have, if you choose the anchoring system, you can have a fixed bow roller in a different molding to this, and the option of an electric anchor windlass and an opening hatch just here to access your windlass motor and chain. So what that does do, it means you've got the bow roller protruding over the front of the fender. So if you are going to be doing bow 2 on a fixed dock, just think about that, because then that means the bow roller could get in the way. But if that's not a problem, or if you're not going to be using it in that mode and you're anchoring all the time, then go for the anchor. But just think about your use case before you make a decision on what suits you. Oh, there's an iron right now. Huh? They're everywhere here, actually. Every marina we've passed seems to have 1 or 2 irons, and perfect for doing this sort of thing. So drink holders here and here. They are the European size. They're not good enough for a tinny with a cooler, so you're just going to have to drink faster if you're in a hot country, but maybe that's okay with you. Jump on board. And under here, it's actually a really good storage space. Now, in the other version, the new open version, this is also the option for a toilet and a bed, but in the Coupe, this is storage. So these cushions go out and fit in place where they need to, and we're using it as a deep storage area because the toilet is inside the cabin, as you may have seen on some of the other versions on my channel, which we will go and have a look at right now. So you guys go down that side, I'll come down this side. Pay attention to the midships cleat location. That's super handy. And also, before you get there, I'm going to show you how much space we have going to the aft seat, because it feels a little bit better than the smaller models. So if I'm a guest, I'm going to have boom, this much space, like so. And then also, if you are navigator or skipper, these seats flip up like so, and they are upgrading this design to make it a little bit stronger in some of the next models, but that's great because it does allow you to have a little bit more usable space. Come back here and just get a feel for this. It's lovely. So I would say maximum 3 people. 2 people mostly comfortable in here, and you do kind of want to rest your arms like this. I have driven these boats in big waves, and I found myself holding on when we were doing really high speeds. You can do quite high speeds in rough conditions. It's not an adventure boat hull, but it's somewhere in the middle, so it really will. 23 degrees of dead rise, it'll chop up a lot of the nasty stuff, and you can maintain a relatively high speed quite safely. But what you find yourself doing is putting your foot up on this ledge, and then you push your back into the backrest. I'm talking to those of you when you're trying to do 45 knots plus. If you're just cruising around at a normal family speed, you're not going to be sitting like that. You can just relax and you do you. But when you do accelerate into those next levels, which I know some of you are going to want to do, it's perfectly possible. Just check with your partner that you're not going to scare her before you do it, because that would be silly. So I just want to show you underneath this seat. So obviously we've got an esky under here, we've got access points. This is the dunny or the loo, depending on what part of the world you are in. So that seems to work sufficiently in an emergency. But remember, the boat does 50 knots. So I would argue in most places you are never more than 5 minutes away from a proper toilet. That's probably just for emergencies. Now, see these lights up here? In the next models, this is gone because that does look a little bit caravan-y, and now it's been replaced with a much more modern strip lighting. Okay, so basically ignore that is what I was trying to say. You probably won't see in the corners because it's black on the camera, but there is a coat hook in this corner and that corner. It's neatly out of the way. You're not going to hit your head on it, but it is perfect for a wet weather jacket. Got an access port underneath the seats. And now I'll just jump into the helm. And as I said, that's super handy. You can even throw a few things under your feet if you need. And again, you may or may not see this on the camera, but that angle just there is lovely for some sporty driving. I enjoy that, and having this ledge here is also quite handy. So if you just want to bed yourself in and against the seat, it's quite comfortable, and that gives you another option to do the same, because when you are entering those higher speeds at times, you might find that more useful. Obviously, this being the coupe, you got no risk of falling off the boat because you can just close the doors. So I don't see this as a unsafe design whatsoever. This plastic glove box is actually gone. In future models, it's going to be flush with the dash, so basically ignore that. But you've got a grab hold here, stereo, 2 more European drink holders. We can actually put 2 12-inch screens on the display just here. Throttle angle and placement is comfortable and good, and we'll display that in the next video. Bow thruster, engine start and stop with the safety. We have 2 more speakers just down here, and we actually have our horn, lights, bilge, wipers. We do have a windscreen wiper on this one, and the pressure water button for the shower. What I didn't point out on the transom is you actually have 2 battery switches on and off. So you start your day out at the starboard aft part of the boat, house battery on, start battery or crank battery on, and then you've got access to turn on the electronics, fire up the motor and drop it in the water. Forward of the dash, because this is Sweden and this is popular in this part of the world, we actually have a Webasto heater. So you don't have to have it on heater mode. You can have it on fresh air mode. It can just circulate air through the cabin, or you turn it on heat mode, which it basically blows from there forward to keep all the glass demisted. But we have another outlet just tucked down there. So if it is a real cold day, that's good for keeping the cabin acclimatized or warm. And this is how you operate the roof. So this is just a Lumar sailboat hatch basically, and you just go forward and then lock it like so. But you can also lock it, it looks like you can lock it in one position. I think you can. Is that, actually don't hold me to that, maybe I'm wrong. So you can slide it all the way back, and then the doors will lock in the wholly open position. But I can see here we've also got locking position there, locking position there, another locking position there, and then the final one is closed, and that's that's good to have those options, because again, if you're in a hotter place, or even if you're in a colder place like here in Sweden, it was cold this morning, but now the sun's out, it's quite pleasant. So just cracking that if you wanted to, or if it was raining, you might have the windward door where the rain's coming from closed, and you might have the leeward door cracked open just to get ventilation. So that all sort of works. So I think it's not a lot to it on a boat like this. We do have the navigation lights. We've got the horn. I didn't point out the bar light up here. That's handy, especially in this part of the world in winter time. If you're using this as a commuter, I would absolutely be utilizing that. And even the roof design for warmer countries, I might even use this in a roof rack surf toy storing mode. You could potentially put a couple of roof racks over it like so, or if you just didn't operate the roof, you could put stand-up paddle boards and lash over like this, as long as you don't open the roof underway, and 2 stand-up paddle boards will store there, no problems. Or even the big inflatable, not the inflatable, the big foam mats that you roll up would go super happily up on the roof here, no problems. I don't see any need to put them anywhere else on the boat, because it all kind of works. So that's it. There's not much to it. It's trailerable, it's containerable, it's fast, it's protected, it's good for all year round. I love this brand, and I see this 907 Coupe now coming up as potential competition to some of the adventure boats, to be honest. If you're looking at an Axopar, if you're looking at a Saxdor, even if you're looking at a Nimbus T-Series and other boats, which are more luxurious, maybe a little bit more capable in some spaces, and much more expensive, I can see many different scenarios around the world where you can spend a lot less money and get probably 80% of the fun, maybe 90% by buying one of these. And it's trailerable, which is not the case for many of those adventure boats in most countries. I know Americans, you guys trailer everything, but we're different. We're not allowed to. So have a think about it. Like, seriously, have a think about it. And if you want to see how she performs, we're doing that in the very next video. The link will come up on the screen right now. Don't forget, subscribe, comment, like, and also tell me what boat you have now. And please tell me what boat you're comparing this with. It really helps. If I know that there is another boat out there that everyone is trying to compare something that I've filmed, I'll get on the phone and try and annoy them so they one day give me the keys and let me make a video for you. That's how this works. We're a community. If everyone's asking and answering questions, hopefully we can get more useful content out there for one another. So, see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it was useful. See you, legends. Bye.